I've talked about this in the past, in fact I think in many videos, but I can't recall if I've done it or treated this subject uh, as a subject in a video. Usually, each time I'm talking about ES9 V6 engines, I usually mention it, not all the time, but some cases I'll do that. So anyone that has been following me on my YouTube channel, and especially on matters concerning the V6 engine, by now must have learnt it. So I'm going to treat it now as a subject of this video, and that is how to check oil level on ES9A V6 engine. Now, I'm using ES9J4S V6 engine to describe kind of how you can go about it. So I'm going to show you how to do that, but it doesn't mean this is going to be accurate. But at least remember, it's the same engine, but not identical. So whatever I'm showing you here is for ES9A, not for ES9J4S, even though this ES9J4S engine. So now, when you want to check engine oil level on ES9A V6 engine, I'm talking about V6 engine, you find phase 2 607, 407, I think 807 also has ES9A. I'm trying to remember, I can't remember correctly, because I think 807, I think they have the late model. I think they say we are produced with this SFW. I think they were produced, no, SFU, not SFV. SFV is for ES9A in 407, while SFU, either SFU or SFW, one of them is for, I think they mostly use either 807 or Citroen vehicles. Anyway, so I'm referring down to ES9A V6 Peugeot engines, which is basically look exactly like this. So to check the engine oil via the dipstick, don't kid yourself. Once the car sleeps overnight, do not bother to check the oil level. You can't get it in the first time you want to start the car. It's not possible. Now this is what I mean. You park the vehicle probably today, leave it overnight, then the next morning you want to start the car. There is no how you get the normal oil level using the dipstick. The electronic oil level measurement could tell you, oh, oil level, okay, fine. But so for you to now know exactly the level of the oil using in the engine using the dipstick, you cannot get it at that time. Now let me show you. So this is the dipstick. So if you look at this one, the oil hasn't, the color has not changed. But somewhere, oh, let me bring it up. I have to bring a rag so I can use it to demonstrate. Okay, now you can see it better now. So it's somewhere here. Let me pull it out. You can see this is the maximum mark, this is minimum mark. Now this is where the oil level is right now. So you can see it here too. So that's where the oil current level is. Now for ES9A, once you leave the car and it sleeps like maybe 10 hours or thereabouts, the car engine stays without running for about that time, maybe 10 hours. But just call it, leave the car overnight, the next morning, see the where you get the oil level. Remember, this is the maximum mark, but this is where you get the oil level. If you like, keep pulling it out, cleaning it, putting it back. What I mean is this: pull it out like this, clean up the oil level on the dipstick, put it back in, pull it out, clean it again, As you can see where this one is, it's still reading same pace. If you like, keep cleaning it, putting it back, unless maybe like after 50 times, I don't know if you have the energy, but you can do it up to 10 times or at least more than 5 times. You will keep getting it here. We should be showing you oil level here, or maybe around here, but expect it to be showing you here, around here. Now that's the engine design. I do not know how, even though it's the same engine block with this engine, but this one is more accurate. In worst case, you might draw this one the first time, it will come up above, clean it, put it back. The second time you are pulling it out, it will show you the accurate measurement, where the oil level is on the actual level of oil on the dipstick. Why the ES9A? The problem is not the dipstick. Don't get me wrong. Before you start saying, oh, maybe it's the dipstick, let me swap. No, don't bother to swap. The problem is not the dipstick, it's just the design. So how do you now know? You must start the engine first. So meaning that you need to rely that your electronic oil level is working. If your instrument panel is not showing oil level, if it's dead and it's not showing you the whether oil level is okay, then man, I don't know what else to say. So you need to have it fixed so that that small display in the middle of the instrument panel will be working. So I'll be able to tell. So if it shows oil level okay, it doesn't necessarily mean oil okay, but at least at that time means it's not dangerous to start the engine at that time. It could also be that it's almost at the minimum, close to the minimum. So it might tell you okay, but immediately you start the engine, it runs, it might be warning, oil level warning might pop up because it will not drop below minimum. So what you need to do is start the car, run it, ready it, if you like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, switch it off, let the engine stay for like 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes. Some could do, but leave it at least like 10 minutes. Then pull the dipstick, clean it up, put it back. The second time you are pulling it out, to show the actual level. Or you get to somewhere, park the car, leave it for like 1 hour, 2 hours, come and pull it out, check, clean it up, put it back. It will give you the accurate level of oil in your engine from the dipstick. As far as ES9A is concerned, that's the only way you can get the accurate oil level using the dipstick inside that engine. If you like, you can do whatever you want to do, argue whatever. I'm telling you, as someone, I'm not just a user or an owner of this engine, 2 of them actually. I'm telling you, as somebody who has been working on these engines in the hundreds by now. So I know that's what you can call it a weakness, but to me, I'm not bothered because it won't stop you from checking the level. All you need to do is it means you now take a little bit more time. You have to start the engine, run for a little while, then pull it out. But if the engine is already warm, once you use the engine in that day, the rest of that day you will always be getting the oil level until you leave it to sleep over, maybe another 6 hours, 6 to 10 hours, then you start having that problem again. Maybe there was a time it didn't happen in your own case, then you are so lucky, but this is what they are known for. So you don't check ES9A engine oil level by when engine is already cold, pulling it out, checking, you will not get it. It will give you the wrong figure coming up here until you start around the engine, leave it to stay for like 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, check it again, you get the accurate measurement. Now the last thing I'm going to point out is, for all Abuja engines, now this is not just let's just move for all Abuja naturally aspirated engines. All Abuja naturally aspirated engines do not get the oil level to the minimum. Hold on. Let me find something to point it there so that it makes sense. Now, remember, this is the minimum mark. This is the maximum mark. So no matter what you do not get the oil level to this point. Let's assume you change your oil level or you need to top up. Don't get it here. Leave it somewhere below it. Again, don't get it to the maximum mark. Leave it here. So it should be in between, something like here to here. The reason why I'm not bothered about where it is now, even though it's still enough, is the oil will be due in October. Remember, we're almost in end of or middle of, past middle, okay, let's just say, no, past middle of September. So we're almost end of September. So meaning that this one will be enough to serve me till next month. So why top up when I know that this should still serve me for another 4 weeks? And then I'm doing everything out and put fresh oil. So when I'm putting fresh oil, this is where it will stop. So don't get it here. Doesn't mean to damage your engine, but there's a reason. I've talked about it many times. I don't want to keep mentioning the reason why you should leave it. You should keep it below minimum, below maximum mark. So this is not. Some people claim that this is normal. No, this is maximum. So leave it below. Now for ES9A, ES9A 4S. But remember, we are talking about ES9A. Now for ES9A, when you drain the engine oil, let's assume the engine is completely empty, which those times can be very difficult to get the engine empty. Okay, let's assume you actually get it empty completely. It will consume more than 5 liters to actually get to this point. Yeah, I recommended you put it. It will take more than 5 liters. The recommended oil quantity is 4.7 liters. But the thing is, that's just the average quantity is expected that is going to come out because of the way the engine sits and the rest, and then the position of how the vehicle is when you want to drain the oil. So all this is to determine the quantity of oil that will come out when you are draining the oil. But like I said, let's assume for whatever reason you manage to get everything out. I can. The way I do it, for example, if I want to change the oil, normally I will drive the car, make sure the engine oil or the oil temperature has come up close to 40 or above 40 degrees Celsius. I'm not talking about coolant temperature, I'm talking about oil temperature. Get it up 40, 70 degrees Celsius or thereabout. In fact, close to 80. That's when I change the engine oil. Immediately you get to that point, then you drain. Of course, you need to be careful because oil could burn your hand as you are removing the drain plug. Immediately that happens, immediately you open it up and then release this cover, what will now happen is it will fall because the engine oil is very hot. It's as if you flush your engine. It's going to pull out as many as old oil out. Whatever there is, if there is some oil that is sticky on the block and everything, at that time it must have melted. Everything will flow out. Of course, there might still be some quantity remaining on the oil pan, for example, but you get close to more than 90-95% of oil out. But if your oil engine is cold and you change your oil, trust me, you probably will still have more than close to 1 liter remaining inside your engine. So that's why Project now say just on average you expect about 4.7 liters. There are times I've even changed oil. Maybe I didn't run it as fat as it should be before I change it, or maybe where I park the vehicle, the engine tilted in such a way that some oil won't be able to come out. Yeah, I will end up putting only 4 liters. I'm not joking. Meaning that the old oil will still remain about 1 liter or close to more than half a liter in the engine, which couldn't come out. So I will end up not putting up more to 4 or at least more than 4 liters, and then it will come up and get to this point. And there are cases where I will do that immediately. I drive the car, get the oil to come fairly hot and drain it. Even the 5 liter, I will empty the entire 5 liter. It might even still be here or a little bit under the maximum mark. So people who have been following me will know that I've been saying this many times. This is not the first time I've said you don't use the quantity that the manufacturer recommended when you are changing the oil. What I mean is, if Paul just said use the recommended quantity is 4.7. There. Don't go and just measure the 4.7 immediately you drain the oil. put back the drain plug, you pour the entire 4.7 liter. No, don't make, you make that mistake, you end up overfilling the engine most times. If you say 4.7, first of all, measure 4 liters and pour 4 liters. Start from there. Then let it settle, then check. From there, you now know, okay, maybe it's still at the minimum, maybe it's here, though you now know, okay, maybe I need to add a little and be checking it until you get a certain point to leave it. Most times when I change engine oil, I don't even top up until the next day. I'll just get it to somewhere here and leave it till the next day. By the time I know every oil has come down, but when I do it, for ES9A, I don't bother because I know it's not going to work out for me. So, but for every other engine, that's what I do. ES9A, once I will just keep putting it until you get to this point. When I change oil, that's what I do. I don't leave it overnight to top up, to gauge, to make it to come up to where I was, because I know it's to be difficult for me to do. The ES9J4S, my 555 V6 and every other engine I've used, and the other people, this will always be my recommendation. Get it to some point, maybe in the middle between the minimum and the maximum bar. Leave it till the next day, then check, then top up, but do not get it to the maximum mark. There's no need for that. There's a reason. Sometimes you could get oil dilution issue. This can easily tell you if you're having that problem. If you're at the maximum mark, when you change oil, you leave it at maximum mark. If you start having fuel diluting your engine oil, by the time you know what is happening, it has gotten to this point. But if it's here, if you notice it on time, it will be around that maximum mark. It's just safe. Keep it below maximum. Don't get it to the maximum mark. It's pointless. So, and there are some oil that for people that use like mineral oil, dipstick oil, if you put it at maximum mark, those oil, because they are too thick, they will expand. And when they expand, when the engine becomes hot, they will expand and then exceed maximum mark. But if you use such oil and it's below the maximum, so even if you expand, it won't exceed maximum. So there are so many reasons. So as far as the oil is between here and here, or at least, you could say between the minimum and the maximum, you are safe. But you don't need to get close to minimum before you top up. But anything from here to here, you are safe. Now for EP6 engines, budget to go charge engines. I think I may have to do a separate video on this so I don't mix these things up, But I kind of mention it here. Maybe I'll do a separate video. No, let me leave it. I don't want to make it too long. So I'll do a separate video concerning EP6 engine. I've done it before actually, but I need to explain why. Let me leave it. Alright. So now you learned it. Remember, this is specifically for ES9A V6 Kojo engine. Not ES9J4S, not ES9J4, not PRV engines. So I hope this makes sense.